Good evening. Welcome to Thursday Night Live, A Deeper Dive. I'm so glad you're here for a very special edition. You may know that I am not Rev Eric. Rev Eric is at a graduation tonight, so I'm David Cook. I'll be co-hosting tonight with my very, very special guest, Sinai Carlton. How are you, Sinai?
Good, how are you?
I'm terrific. So Sinai is here because this happens to be Young Person's Week at Unity of Sacramento, and she was a very important part of our service. So she and I were going to take away Thursday Night Live. Welcome to all of you on YouTube. Welcome on Facebook. If you're coming in, please be sure to comment, put some information in so we know you're here. We can tell that it's you. And we're continuing now with the talk series that started on Easter, which was the resurrection journey. We started with Get Up, Stay Up, Listen Up, and this week it was Train Up. Train Up is raising our youth from the spirit to the home to the village. Really an important part. You know, we take our youth seriously here at Unity of Sacramento. They're not serious, but we take it seriously, and we're so glad that they were able to be here. Just a quick question for you, Sinai. How was it being on display on Young Person Sunday?
Oh, wow. It was amazing. I got a lot of reminders of what it was like before. There was me and my brother and my newest little brother. I got so many flashbacks to when Mr. Cooper was here.
Oh, yes.
And I remember the Christmas shows, the Easters.
There you go.
Yeah, and I just channeled all that throughout it. It feels really great.
Yes, and it showed all the way through. So in addition to Sinai, who gave us the announcements and was part of the young people's choir, we also had Angelina Ross, who delivered a beautiful meditation. Juliana, I don't know Juliana's last name, but she did the benediction, the prayer for protection, and then of course we had Siraj in India with a wonderful musical selection. They were just terrific. So all in all, it was just a great day, and we're going to continue that energy today. If you are, as I say, if you're joining us, please be sure to make a comment or let us know that you're here so that we can recognize you, make sure that we know that we know that you're here. And as with every experience at Unity of Sacramento, we're going to open with prayer, and our prayer tonight is going to be the breathing space meditation, and Sinai will have that for us. You ready, Sinai? Yes, you are.
Today's word is justice. I am a distribution channel of courageous compassion that leads to justice. Justice is what love looks like in public. These are names that, when invoked, are immediately synonymous with the experience of injustice. George Floyd, for instance, suffered an unimaginable modern-day lynching as the world watched a sworn law enforcement officer kneel on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds until he died. During the moments leading to this demise, he begged for his breath and finally for his mother. And the world got to see for itself the tremendous injustice that countless numbers of unarmed Black men and women have suffered at the hands of bad actors in law enforcement all across America for centuries. Something about this moment, however, was different than previous flashpoints in our nation's history, because people were forced to look at the undeniable darkness within society and within themselves and make a choice. Finding safe, sacred spaces to process through the anger, rage, pain, and grief that accompanies exposure to societal injustice will furnish us with the clarity we need to emerge better and not bitter. If there is any benefit to witnessing injustice, it is this. It is the opportunity to answer the question, now that I am aware that this exists, who do I choose to be in its face? Justice, therefore, is the selfless product of people who choose public displays of courageous compassion in an effort to grant, even the so-called least of these, an equal share of benefit at the table of humanity. In what ways has your journey prompted you to display courageous compassion on behalf of those experiencing injustice? Think of this question as we go into the silence. As you turn your awareness back to the room, remember, I am a distribution channel of courageous compassion that leads to justice. God loves you, and remember to breathe.
Ah, thank you very much. Thank you, Sanai. That was beautiful. So let's think about this. Let's think about this journey that we're on here. We've talked about getting up with the resurrection, staying up and with the ascension, listening up to hear that when that still small voice speaks, that we not only listen but take action. And now we came to train up. So I know that over the past couple of months, for example, you and Angelina and I have been doing some training up. Working on, we're training Sanai and Angelina to become part of the platform assistant team along with the adults, and we're really excited about this. We know that they have the spiritual maturity and the wisdom to be a part of that, and we so look forward to having you be full members of the team. So welcome.
Thank you.
Yes. So this Sunday, we talked, all right, hang on a second, I gotta make sure my chair doesn't squeak. So this Sunday we were talking, Rev E was talking, before I go any further, I do need to tell you, Rev E hasn't just disappeared. He's taking time to go to a graduation tonight, so he was not able to attend. He sends his best wishes. Rev Kev, who, as you may know, is finishing up his master's at Harvard, has now completed all his classes, and the next step in the process is for him to deliver his project to the, I don't know, the board, the examination board, whatever. But that's happening on the 10th of May. So hold that on the 10th of May. You want to be sure to be praying with Rev Kev for the successful outcome of his journey. And then he'll be coming back after he graduates, which happens on May the 25th. So all good things happening here at Unity of Sacramento. So before we get into the first highlight, I just want to kind of set that stage that it was very much a part of the process, and it was actually not coincidental. It was coincidental, not accidental, that April happens to be a month that has 5 Sundays, because it's the 5th Sunday of the month that it's our Young Person Sunday. And so it was a fitting conclusion to this resurrection journey that we ended up on training up, talking about our youth. Can we show the first highlight, and we'll show you a little bit about what Rev E shared with us on Sunday.
I'm so glad that we get to see our children in action here in and around the campus of Unity of Sacramento. It's so important. But I want to make it clear that we're not trying to replace anyone. We might need to say that because they're really good. Okay, so next week, if you are in this ministry and service and you're an adult, we will see you. We expect to see you next week. But we do this so that we can train up our youth. Proverbs 22, verse 6 says to train up a child in the way that he or she should go, and when he or she is old or older, they will not depart from it. But I also want to be very clear. I want to make a distinction. We're not trying to force something upon our children. We're not saying that this is what you take over next. You get that? We want to give them an opportunity to express their higher selves in such wonderful ways of service as we offer. But we also want to be careful not to force our children to do something that they don't have in their hearts to do. I don't want that to happen to any of the adults, to be forced. I want everybody to be in a space of get to rather than duty obligation. You got that? You understand that? We get to serve. We get to sing. We get to be on cameras. We get to do this work. And in so doing, we're not so much training them to be, or only training them to be camera people or singers or platform chair people. But I want you to go a little bit deeper and higher with that. It's not so much the role, it's the characteristics, it's the qualities, it's the attributes that they acquire in participating in these activities. You see the difference? You see the difference? We're really teaching them love. We're teaching them excellence. We're teaching them, we're training up so that they will understand joy, that they will understand abundance, and these qualities that are core values. These are qualities that we value here, and we want them to have those wonderful values as well. It's important to make this distinction because when you hear that word train up, and by the way, that Proverbs 22 and 6 is a King James version. It's a King James version. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. When we hear that word to train up, what does that mean exactly? You know, are we in the business of forcing someone to be something that is not their purpose on this earth to be or do? And we have to be careful.
Wow. What a great start to that talk. Yeah? So great. Hey, before we get into that conversation, I'd like to welcome a few folks here. I see Carla Ruiz is with us. Thanks for being here, Carla. I appreciate that. Tyrone, I got your comment, and I think it's absolutely apt. Tyrone says, would it be appropriate to say, and a child shall lead them? And the answer is absolutely it is, and the children are leading the way for us. Marche is with us. Welcome, Marche. Glad to have you here. Deanna Kiger is with us. And let's see who else is with us. Deborah Garcia. Oh, my goodness. Hello, Deborah. Glad to have you here tonight. Awesome. Okay, so let's get back to the conversation with Rev Ian. The first thing I was thinking about, Sinai, was, so hearing this, I heard it as an adult because I am an adult. You heard it as a young person, as a youth, you're practically an adult. Just don't tell your mom and dad that. They're not ready to hear it. I'm just telling you. What did you think about Rev E's comment that we're not trying to force something on our children when we train them?
I think it means not to push them to a point where they feel like this is all they have to do in life and not exploring other chances, because it's going to be like, mom and dad taught me to do this. This is what I do to gain their love. This is what I do to gain God's love. And I don't think that's the purpose for what he was trying to say. He was in what I took from it was he's trying to say, let them make their own choices, but guide them. Because if you don't guide them and they stray, then you have to bring them back. And if you let them go too far, it's going to be hard to reel them back in, and it's going to ensure a lot of patience, and it's not going to be easy. So it's trying to make it seem like they don't have to be a certain way for God's love or for your parents' love, and you just have to make sure this is what you want to do and not just stay to one thing, because if you stay to one thing, you probably will never find out what God really wants you to do, because if you think it's one thing, that's all it's going to be, is one thing.
Okay, I'm going to drop my mic now because the evening is over. Sanaya has taken care of us. That's beautiful, beautiful words. And I think that he talked about the Proverbs 22:6 that said, train up a child in the way he or she should go, and when he or she is old, they will not depart from it. And there was an interesting part, it wasn't in the highlight here, but there was a comparison between the language of the King James Version, which said, train up a child in the way he should go. And you talked about that a little bit. You want to make sure that you give guidance, but not forceful direction. But in the New Revised Standard Version, it says, train children in the right way, and when old, they will not stray. You may remember a couple weeks ago we talked about fishing from the right side of the boat. And Rev brought this up. He said, training in the right way, and the right way being that what we're doing is we want to evoke from you the Christ that's already within you. And so when we train, as adults, we sometimes want you to be like us. But the like us isn't always in the best way. You know what I'm saying? And so it's important for us to model that Christ-like behavior as well, and to offer you suggestions that will help you, help to bring you along as well. He also talked about the teaching the characteristics and the core values. Does that come through for you when we're doing our training with you?
Yes, I see it a lot. I see it. You've taught me and Angelina so much, and now it's not only when I'm at church, I'm at school, I'm at a store, and I remember, I'm like, okay, well, David told me that this is like this, and if I don't be like this, then maybe this will happen, It's kind of guiding me throughout my life, and it's not staying in one place, it's going throughout everywhere else, and I'm really understanding it more now as I grow up.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, and now I'm really worried about what I've told you. Oh my gosh, what have I shared? No, I totally kidding with you, totally kidding. And this is important because by learning the core values and by learning the unity principles, then whatever you're training to do, whatever is there for you, there's a context for it, right? You're not doing it, as he said, not just to learn how to operate a camera, but to understand that when you're a camera operator, you are helping those who are on live stream to experience the message. Or when you're singing, or when you're giving the announcements, your Christ light is shining through, and that's really the importance. It's not the specific activity of what it is you're working on. Yeah. Okay. Let me think about this for a minute. So in the revealing word, and this was important because one of the things that Rev E said is that the words are important. And so we just showed an interpretation between two different verses. In the revealing word, Charles Fillmore says, when spiritual words abide in our consciousness, the word or thought formed in the intellectual and the sense mind must give way to principles. It must give way to, I'm sorry, I'm chuckling. Tyrone is posting comments here telling me I need to be careful with what I say. Thanks, Ty. So back again. When spiritual words abide in our consciousness, the word or thought formed in intellectual and sense mind must give way to higher principles of being. The whole consciousness is then raised to a more spiritual plane. And that is what we hope to do when we're training you, to allow your whole consciousness to be raised to a higher spiritual plane. I see it in you. I see it in Angelina. I see it in Siraj. I see it in India. I see the children that are part of this community who have, were such an important part of Youth Sunday. It's not, you're not just getting through life. You're really looking for deeper meaning and higher meaning. Yeah. By the way, I want you to know that your dad just popped in, and he says that he's very proud of you. Go figure, go figure, Rashad. Welcome to Bridget Young Fulton. Thanks for being here also. And also Ida. Ida, yes, look at her is right. So Ida Overton is in your corner as well. They're all here for you, Sinai. They knew you were coming. All right. Okay, so then the next part of the talk, and let's see, maybe we could show that second highlight now. Is that okay? You have that for us, India, the second highlight? Okay.
Because what I'm getting at is that the children, the youth that are present and that are here and that are on their way are not coming on their way to be an extra laborer in your business. They're not there for that. They can be that, but they're not there for that. But they are there because they are going to answer someone's prayer along the way in their lives. Khalil Gibran, you may be familiar with his work. In his book, The Prophet, he gives a poem, a section on children. And it's probably one of the most profound understandings of the purpose of children and the purpose of life itself. In it, he says, "And a woman who held a babe against her bosom said, 'Speak to us of children.' And he said, 'Your children are not your children.'" Let me say that again, because take a deep breath. What you talking about, Rev? Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And they are with you, yet they belong not to you. Something bigger that is going on. It's something more than just the physical birth of a human being. There's a spiritual being. There's a spiritual element that is going on, that is taking place in this unfoldment that is bigger than you and I. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls. Let me time out on this one, because in my household, growing up, and in my household now, when my children are feeling themselves and ready to take us on and say, "How come we can't have bigger rights in this household?" And of course, the answer is always, because it's my household. When it's your household, then you can have all the rights you want. And that has been something that my mom, that has been passed down through the generations. Perhaps you've had that experience as well. It's like when you get your own place, when you get your own place, you can make the rules. But here, spiritually speaking, that does not apply. You may house their bodies, correct, but not their souls. For their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. Let me say that one more time. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. They have their own agenda that has been divinely commissioned. You get that? For life goes not backward, nor tarries with yesterday. So, who are we in all this? Are we just babysitters? I know that I see that look on your face for the adults that are in the room. Am I just a babysitter? No, you're more than that. You play an integral part in the unfoldment, in the training up of our youth. And this is a great way to describe it. You are the bows from which your children, as living arrows, are sent forth. The archer sees the mark upon the path of the infinite. He bends you with his might that his arrows may go swift and far. Now, let me say that in a 21st century way. God bends you with God's might that God's arrows may go swift and far. So let your bending in the archer's hand, who's the archer? God. In the archer's hand, be for gladness. For even as God loves the arrow that flies, so God loves also the bow that is stable. Ours is to be the stable bow, ever understanding that God has given us the honor to send forth the arrow pointing to victory into our future. To send forth that blessing that our children are toward the fulfillment of their true purpose on this earth. That is ours to do, not just as a parent or a guardian, but as a village and a community. Whenever we see our young people, look them in their eyes. Ask them questions about who they feel they are and what's in their hearts to be and to do. And let's be intentional about bending our bows to send them forth to do the work that they have come here to do. In the name.
Wow. That's some powerful words. Hello, how are you, Terry? Terry has joined us in the sanctuary. So glad to see you. All right. Oh, well, how was that?
That was great.
Yes.
It was amazing.
So I'm gonna tell a little tale on you now.
Oh,
Okay. So when Sinai and Angelina and I were practicing, and they were we were deciding who was going to do the meditation and who was going to do the announcements for Youth Sunday. I said to Sinai, I said, what is it you'd like to, what would you prefer? She says, I'm a church child. I will do anything. And this is exactly what Rev E was talking about, right?
Yes.
That spirit, that heart, that the love that comes through is just it inspires us. and we really appreciate that about you. But I love that expression. Well, I'm a church child. I'll do what I need to do. Yes, Rashad, she did say it. She really did. So let's talk a little bit about what about this expression. What does it really? What do you think it really means when we say you're not our children, but you're the children of basically the children of the universe, the children of the world? And what does that mean for you?
Well, as a child, what I processed it in my imagination was like a tree's growth. You know, the seeds come through you, through the trees, and they sprout. But when fall comes, it's time for them to fall, and they create new growth for to come for when spring happens. So in my mind, it's kind of like you raise them until they get to their spiritual awareness. They need to be at one with God, and then you have to let them go. Not let them go, but keep them in arm's reach so that if they do kind of float away, you can always bring them back, and you can always teach them more, because you can never stop learning when it comes to God. And so it's not like they're not yours. It's just you are co-parenting with God, and you're teaching, and then you're giving new values and principles to the child as it grows. And then you have another minister, or you have a president, maybe you have an actor, someone who grew up believing in those same things as you did, but they're just not you. They're their own person now, but they still have your values and your principles.
I'm just taking it all in. Trust me on this. There's an expression, about with children that we give them roots so that they're grounded, and wings for them to fly. And that's basically what you were just saying. You have this deeply spiritual grounding in understanding of God, but you're reaching out, you're moving along your way, and as you're training, it's even possible that as you're being trained up, you may find that what you're being trained for has nothing to do with what you want to do in the world. It can happen, trust me. My kids joke about how many jobs I had before I settled on the one that was my career, right? And I was 35 when that happened. So I want to take this just a little bit deeper, because I know that you will get this, what I'm describing here. So in the Revealing Word, Charles Fillmore says, the firstborn of everything in the universe is an idea in divine mind. And what I'm coming to is our ideas are like the children of our mind, right? And so as we form ideas and we send them out, we need to be mindful and make sure that we remember that our thoughts are very powerful. And so kind of taking this from the literal description of the children as the people that they are into more of a metaphysical idea that says our ideas are the offspring of our mind, really gives you a sense of how important it is that we are, as you say, intentional and aware of what it is we're saying, doing, and speaking.
Can I? Okay.
See, we're on the same page.
Yeah. But I think I know what you're saying. More, they're not there to hover, but more to inform, and like I said before, guide you throughout all the missions. I call them missions because after you get to a certain age, you're kind of like, I can do this. It's me. But then there is a point where you're going to have to turn to your parent or your guardian for some advice. I remember when I was little, I was with my brothers, and I'm like, I don't really need them. I've learned from them. I got this. Like, I can do this on my own. And then it came to a point where I'm like, I need their help. And I have to admit it to myself that I can't do everything on my own. At some point, I need to turn to someone. And I think that parents and God is there for that. You don't have to be alone through everything. All you have to do is stay centered. And if you stay centered and you stand your ground, then you'll get through it.
So good. Such a wise description because um, it's when we forget that, and this takes us back to the messages that Rev Eastman's been giving to us. When you find yourself leaving the center, it's time to hold up, right? Hook up, get connected to God, listen to what He's telling you, and then move in that direction. And that's exactly what you just described, right? And you've had this experience for yourself in your own life, right? This is important. I'm gonna ask you another question here, and I want you to think about it for a minute. You mentioned your experience, you know, as we've been going through the platform assistant training, um, you know, how you've been thinking differently about life. How is it for you, because you and I have also talked about the conditions in which you're operating at your high school, which are not necessarily in keeping with your view of the world. I'll just say that. I don't picture you as someone who is going to start a fight in the cafeteria. I'm just going to put it right out there right now. How is it for you? How do you reconcile that for yourself as you're in the world outside the four walls of this church or outside this church community?
I would say that I remember what my parents taught me, and I think like not everyone grew up as I did, and not everyone had the same opportunities I did. Not everyone had the roundness and the family values I was taught. So I'm grateful that I can see all points of the world, because if I only think that the world is all cupcakes and rainbows, then I would be disappointed going into the whole economic or social things going on in the world. If I only think that I can never do this a certain way, or I can only have TV or for the rest of my life, and remember not to, you have to pay bills. Yeah, you can't just have unlimited TV, you gotta pay bills, and in order to pay bills, you have to work. And if I only have this tunnel vision of what I think it is, then the world's gonna be like, surprise, that's not what you thought. And it's going to be harder to cope, and everything is going to be coming at you at once. And for some people, for some people they might be able to toughen up on that, and they'll crumble. So I'm grateful to look at everything around me, and I keep my friends closest to me on how I think. And although they think like me, we do not share the same opinions. I know that they are very opinionated, very. And so I like to keep people around me that will challenge what I think, because if I only have one vision and one thought of what I think the world's going to be, I'll never will know the full story. So I'm grateful to see all points of the world.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, you're getting rounds of applause here in the sanctuary. You're getting rounds of applause on Facebook as well. So, oh my, gosh, I'm just thinking about where we should go. You know what I think we should do? I think we should do the song. Hey, India, I'd like to share. Yes. So one of the great moments this Sunday was our youth singing, and this song goes exactly to the point that you were just making about how you operate in the world. So can we have that, India, please? Thanks.
All right.
I am
All right, all right. I am, I am. I am, I am.
How about that? They sing, they speak, they sing, they do it all. Hey, and just so you know, Siraj is on a camera here tonight. India is back here running the slides. Uh, Sanaya is with me, and Juliana is not here, but I know she'll be here Sunday. What an incredible group of youth we have at Unity of Sacramento. Thank you all so much. That is fantastic. Man, I'm telling you what, they're you got awesome people seeing in the chat room. They've got awesome. You got hearts. Wanda Thornton has joined us. Brenda Dobbs has joined us. It's a party here. I'm telling you what. It's just a great night. It's just a great night. So before we move on to the offering, I would just like to know, Sinai, if there's anything else that you would like to share with your community, any thoughts you have, anything you'd like me to tell President Biden on your behalf?
Yes. Oh, yes, definitely. I would say parents' love is a totally different love you'll experience throughout your life. And no matter if it's tough love or it's like tough love, because that's all I learned growing up. If no matter what, if parents' love is always there, and you can always believe and trust that your parents have the best intent for you, and they're just amazing. Yes, good parents.
Great. That is so awesome. You know, I wanted to make sure tonight, and I think we accomplished it. The talk that Rev E gave was kind of from our adult perspective. This is what we're thinking about when we say train up. And he was helping us to see as a community some things that we need to know. But it was really important for me to hear from your perspective, because otherwise, you know, it's a one-way flow, and we don't want that to happen. We want to know, and we really want to know, I want to know, when we get off track, because adults get off track too, right? So I really appreciate your candor and your ability to articulate how this, you know, how it is that you operate in the world. So thank you so much.
You are
Thank
so
you.
very welcome.
All right, all right. So this is the time now that we're going to ask you to support our Unity of Sacramento ministry. Having seen what you've seen tonight, how could you not want to be a donating part of our community? And India, can we have the offering video, please? Thank you. India's given me the thumbs up. She's becoming the control tower person. Both she and Sanai have taken turns in that seat. So go right ahead.
Visit our website at www.unityofsacramento.com. Right there at the top of the front page, you will see a donation button. Click there to visit our safe and secure push pay portal. Another easy way to give is through our Unity of Sacramento app. Download the app on your smartphone or tablet, and on the front page, look toward the bottom of the page for your giving heart, which will also take you to our push pay portal. You can also write us. Send your letters to Unity of Sacramento, 9249 Folsom Boulevard, Sacramento, California, 95826. And of course, you can always make your donation by using Venmo or Cash App, as seen on your screen.
All right. So if you've made your offering, that's great. Let's bless our offering. We say, divine love through me and as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, and so it is. Hey, one more person I'd like to acknowledge here. We have Wayne Baldwin with us tonight. And he says, howdy from Calgary, all the way from Calgary, Canada. Howdy, Wayne. So glad to have you with us. Fantastic, fantastic. Well, we're a little bit early tonight because the missing link here is the dean and all of the knowledge that he brings. But we had a fitting stand-in for that in Sinai. She's done a marvelous job. We thank you so very much. Yay. Yes, and we look forward to having you back again, and we really look forward to seeing you in the pulpit on the next Youth Sunday.
Oh, yes, you'll definitely be seeing me there.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will indeed. All right. So if you could please lead us in our prayer for protection, would you like to do that? Or would you like me to do that?
You can handle it.
I'll take care. See, I can handle it. See, I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the confidence.
Yes.
So the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And so it is. Oh, thank you so much. This has been just, I knew this was going to be great. I just knew it because you're great. And I'm so glad that we've now had our first youth co-host. You know what the next step is? It's for you to sit in this seat and me to sit in that seat. Oh, yes. This happens. This is going to happen. Trust me on this. Trust me on this. Thank you so much for Thursday Night Live. Please join us Sunday for another wonderful service in the sanctuary, and we'll see you Sunday. Thank you.